Hi everyone, just Michael here wanting to do a quick recap on some trades I took this week. Now there's been a few quotes that I've heard in the last short while which have impacted me in my trading. The first is from Floyd Mayweather Jr., who is known as one of the greatest professional boxers of all time. He has a record of 50-0, which means he's had 50 wins and he's never lost. And Floyd is known for being a defensive genius in professional boxing. And when he first came into boxing, he had a certain mindset, and I heard an interview with him recently where he said this. He said, I came into this sport not planning to be hit, but to hit others and then leave with all my faculties. I came into this sport not to get hit, but to hit others and then leave with all my faculties. And he knows of Muhammad Ali and many other boxers who have taken severe shots to the head, have taken a lot of punches, which have caused brain damage and other incredible injuries, especially to their heads. And so he decided that his primary focus in boxing, his primary strategy would be defense, and then go on offense when the opportunity is there. Because of that, he was never beaten, and he goes down as unbeaten and one of the greatest boxers of all time. Incredible athlete. And it's the same with trading. If we can focus on managing our risk, if we can play defensively, then often our rewards take care of themselves. And this was true in a trade I took this week on pound yen, where price had come up to here, this level, and then reversed, came up and tested it again. I decided to get short, and sure enough, here's my entries in there. Let's just zoom in. Okay, so my biggest gain there was 20 pips, and that whole section, there's probably about 6 positions I took. And a lot of people would ask, well, why didn't you hold it for longer? Look, we have this support zone here, this support zone. It looks like it's reversing off the highs. But what I'm learning in trading is that if we can take our hits quickly and then retreat back into our defense, then we can survive the game long enough without taking injury and end up being successful and even unbeaten like Floyd was. And sure enough, I'm glad that I did take out my profit in this area here, because price didn't go down too far and then exploded to the upside. And so that's an incredible quote which we can take on board. We don't come into this game to get hit. No one approaches trading to lose. But a lot of people end up not playing their defense correctly, not focusing on their defense, not focusing on their risk management, and so they end up losing. And the second quote that I heard is from a very famous real estate magnate in the United States called Manny Khoshbin. Now he has a real estate portfolio of about $500 million. And one thing that he said just last week, which captured my attention, when he was interviewed by a famous podcaster, and this man said, Manny, can you give us a tip on how to create wealth? And he said, it's very simple. He said, wait until what you're wanting to buy is discounted by 40% and then buy it. That was it. Extremely simple. Wait until what you're wanting to buy is discounted by 40% and then buy it. Because once it goes back up, you immediately make 40%. And then in the real estate business, obviously, you end up getting revenue or income from the people who tenant your property. And so that's a great quote for creating wealth. And it's also true in the market. And often we do trade strength because of a breakout or momentum. But the best place to buy, and we do this in every part of life, is we never buy at a high price. We always buy at a discounted price to get the most for our money. And so this week we had dollar Canadian collapse down. Great sell-off from the highs. And so we see that the strength is down. And then it was discounted from the previous high of about 40%. And because of one of the strategies that I employ in my trading, what Greg teaches, I decided to get short, and sure enough, managed to get 65 pips on about 4 different positions, and they actually traded up from the bottom. And so here's our drop in price. This is in Canadian dollar, and then the Canadian dollar is discounted against the US dollar by about 40%. It pulls back, in other words, and I can make a lot more from my trade. Now, think about it this way: if I bought it here and I had a stop, up above the high here, and price came back and came back to this level, then what I made effectively was only there to there. But because I waited for the discount in price, 40%, look how much more money I made. Okay, and so that's, again, it's a really good quote we can take into our trading. Wait for a discount on price, then buy, because if you have momentum in your trade, and then you can end up making more than the person who bought at the highest price. Now in this case it's the Canadian dollar. So those are 2 good quotes we can take into our trading week. One is play defensively, and one is learn to buy at a discount. And I'm sure that those 2 men, well, in fact 2 of them have become world famous because of those strategies. If we can take them into our trading, then I'm sure that we will see increased success as well. So all the best for your trading week, and see what you can do with those two trades for the coming week.